The American Civil War remains one of the most defining conflicts in U.S. history. Fought from 1861 to 1865, it tore a nation apart, pitting brother against brother, father against son. But what was it really like for the soldiers who lived through it? Today we step into the shoes of a Confederate soldier, Thomas Carter, through his journal to understand the reality of war, not just the battles, but the fear, the sacrifice, and the longing for home. Who were the soldiers of the Civil War? When the war began in 1861, thousands of men from both the Union and Confederate states enlisted, believing it would be a short conflict. Many were farmers, blacksmiths, and shopkeepers who had never seen battle before. The average soldier was around 25 years old, but boys as young as 12 and men in their 50s took up arms. April 1861. The call has come. They say we must fight for our land, our way of life. I have never held a rifle, but I will not be left behind. Life in the camps. A harsh reality. Soldiers spent more time in camp than in battle. Life was tough. Poor food, disease, and exhausting drills. Meals were simple: hardtack, salt pork, and beans. And hygiene was nearly non-existent. More men died from disease than from bullets. Typhoid, dysentery, and pneumonia spread through the camps like wildfire. July 1862. We have not seen battle in weeks, yet we bury more men each day. The fever takes them. It is a crueler enemy than any Yankee rifle. The battlefield, facing death. The psychological toll: fear, PTSD, and despair. War was not just blood and bravery, it broke men. Many suffered from what we now call PTSD, then known as soldier's heart. Symptoms included nightmares, tremors, and uncontrollable weeping. Doctors did not understand it. Some called these men cowards. Others simply labeled them shell-shocked and sent them back to battle. February 1864. I wake in the night, hearing the screams of the men I killed. They do not leave me. Perhaps they never will. Letters from home, the emotional lifeline. For many, letters were their only connection to home. Wives, mothers, and children wrote words of love and longing, reminding soldiers what they were fighting for. My dear husband, the children ask for you every night. The farm is quiet without you. We pray for your safe return. March 1865. Mother says Samuel has joined the fight. I told him to stay, but he would not listen. If he falls, I will never forgive myself. The end of the war. The aftermath and forgotten veterans. By April 1865, the war was over. Over 600,000 lives had been lost. For the survivors, the world had changed forever. Some went home to find their families gone, their farms ruined. Others lived with wounds, both visible and invisible. Many, like Thomas Carter, never truly left the war behind. The American Civil War shaped the nation we live in today. The soldiers, Union and Confederate, were more than just fighters. They were fathers, sons, and brothers. Their stories remind us of the true cost of war. When battle came, it was brutal. Most soldiers fought with muskets, accurate only at close range, making hand-to-hand combat common. Cannon fire tore through ranks, and medical care was primitive. Many wounded soldiers faced amputation without anesthesia. December 1862. I have seen what war truly is. At Fredericksburg, we stood on the hill and watched the Union boys charge again and again, only to fall. Their screams haunt me. I do not know if I will ever sleep again. Letters from home, the emotional toll. For many soldiers, letters from home were the only comfort. Wives, mothers, and children wrote words of love and longing, reminding them of what they were fighting for or what they had left behind. My dear husband, the children ask for you every night. The farm is quiet without you. We pray for your safe return. The end of the war. What was left? By April 1865, the war was over. More than 600,000 lives had been lost. For the survivors, the world had changed forever. Some went home to find their families gone, their farms destroyed. Others struggled to live with the memories of what they had seen. Many, like Thomas Carter, never truly left the war behind. The American Civil War shaped the nation we live in today. The soldiers, Union and Confederate, were more than just fighters. They were fathers, sons, and brothers. Their stories remind us of the true cost of war,